A giant moth-like creature terrorizes Point Pleasant, West Virginia. A woman gives birth to 2 children in 2 days from 2 different uteruses. And, well, there's a lot of ghost partying going on, if you know what I mean.
Get comfortable. Turn off the lights. It's Monthly Spooky.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Monthly Spooky. That's right, not only is it that time of the month, but it's also a time when love is in the air. Can you feel the love, Michelle?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, we got a comment. Unfortunately, I don't have it right in front of me. We got a comment on Spotify, and somebody commented they called you Mitchell. They said, I bet Mitchell is a very pretty woman. I'm not joking. That's what the comment said on Spotify.
Just to clarify, I am not a very pretty woman.
Like, just to clarify, my name is Mitchell now.
Yeah.
No, but this is my wonderful co-host, Michelle Antisocial. I'm, of course, Enrique Couto. And this is our end of the month roundup of all the fun, spooky news stories that have happened in the month of, this is February, obviously. And, excuse me, I just got over COVID, 5 days ago?
Mm-hmm.
So good times.
Yeah.
And this is a very special Monthly Spooky because it is leap year. You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know, nor did I care.
Oh, look at you being an edgelord. Look at you being an edgelord. Oh, come on.
February's stupid. And now
they're going to be like, leap year's a Hallmark holiday.
No. They just do it to sell cards.
Wait, why do you hate February so much then?
Oh, because I always forget that it's a short month, and then I panic because I have to do my bills. I hate February.
Yeah, I actually had the same thing. So we're actually recording this the day after Valentine's Day because I am going to be on set producing a film called A Hard Place. And I'll be gone for 10 full days. And my first day off is the day that the show has to release. So it just doesn't work out that there's time. So we're recording this a bit early. And so that means, by the way, happy Groundhog Day, happy Valentine's Day, happy President's Day, happy Lunar New Year. But yeah, I was actually looking at the calendar and I was like, oh, cool. So I'm off on the 27th or the 26th. And I was like, cool. Then I'll have, oh crap, very little more of the month left.
Yeah.
I forgot. I always forget too. Yeah. February's short, although it's longer this year. So if anything, you should be celebrating that you get 29 days of February.
I guess.
How do you say February?
February?
Okay. That's pretty good too. February. Yeah. That's why I say February. That might be a learned thing, though. Not February is how I usually say it.
Mm-hmm.
But until I get excited, then I'm like February. February. I'm looking at it on the screen. February. That's almost like a Mandela effect. I'm like, there's an R in there by accident.
Yeah.
So, but did you have a good Valentine's Day?
No.
You and Giggs didn't do anything?
No.
Oh, that's sad. The romance is over. It's not new anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, that's too bad. I went out and had a nice Thai lunch with Rachel. We went to a really nice Thai restaurant, Penn's Thai Grill, here in Dayton, Ohio, which was very nice. But I will say, shame, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I was like, hey, let's go and have our Valentine's dinner at like 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
because it's lunchtime. So we can get way more food, because it's like we want to celebrate. So it's like we'll get entrees and appetizers and dessert. We'll get all that stuff. And then the second we walk in, the first thing they do is let us know, oh, all day is dinner, the dinner menu. And I'm like, God damn it. I was hoping if I was going to drop $75, we'd get like a ton of stuff. So it was still good. And the prices weren't that bad. Although big ups to Rachel for bravely ordering the most expensive thing on the menu while I was buying. So
Wow.
Literally, when she did that, I like golf clapped. I was like, well done. Here we are. Here we are. But what about Groundhog Day? How was your Groundhog Day?
I didn't even know it was Groundhog Day until the radio told me. So,
well, yeah, that's just like the movie Groundhog Day. You don't know until the radio tells you.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So did you have roasted groundhog?
No, I like my groundhog, so I don't eat him. He lives in the backyard.
Groundhogs are the same as gophers, right?
No, groundhogs are the same as woodchucks.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, I actually do like woodchucks.
Yeah, woodchucks are fun. It depends, and the reason that you probably call them woodchucks is because that is common in that place.
Ohio?
New England.
Oh, New England. Oh, yeah. No, we said woodchuck.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Reminding me of... It's bad enough when I get really tired, I start saying wicked. Oh, yeah, it's a wicked great idea. That's a wicked bad idea. Oh, yeah. But my only problem with woodchucks is the ambiguity of how much wood they could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
I don't even know what chuck means in that context, so I have no idea.
That's why it's a mystery.
Throw up wood?
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? That's what happens when you're a professional voice artist. Yeah. You can say stuff like that super fast and no one cares. It's great. It's the way to be, you know?
Yeah.
But so to celebrate Valentine's Day, to celebrate February, how do you say it again?
February?
Yeah, you just ignore that R entirely, don't you? February.
It's a silent R.
No, it isn't. It's February.
Yeah. No, it's a silent R.
Now, next you're going to tell me you don't say the W in sword.
Yeah, it's a silent W.
And then you're going to say you don't say the T in Christmas.
Yeah, Chris. Yeah.
I actually finally a couple months ago I made a friend who says Christmas like I do.
Interesting.
Like I have to when I do the show and I say Christmas, I have to intentionally not say, because I by nature say Christmas. I just always have. Because I'm a nerd who reads things, you know, like it's not good. It's a bad thing.
Well, I don't say T's in the middle of words at all.
Really?
So, yeah,
oh yeah, Trenton.
T's. Yeah.
Trenton, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Trenton. You say wanted? That's a T in the middle of the word.
Not really.
Oh, it's a D.
It's a pause.
This is horrible. Everything is so bad right now. Why is life so awful? That this is the truth. No, so, and before we get to what the topic of today's show is, which I'm sure you're very curious to know, I did want to just take a quick moment to say a huge thank you to everybody who emailed weeklyspooky@gmail.com and just had nice things to say about my dog Chicano, and just, you know, nice things to say to me. I really appreciate it. When we did the show last month, it was still a pretty fresh wound for me. So it was a very challenging thing to talk about, but I really wanted to talk about it. So
yeah,
I do appreciate all the kind words. And we got great emails. We got one email from a listener named Corey. I don't want to like throw her, you know, she gave me like stuff about her life and how the show has been a good part of her life. And it moved me very deeply. So Corey, if you're listening to this, and I'm almost certain she is, because she said that she was such a big fan of Weekly Spooky and Monthly Spooky, she started listening to the back catalog of This Show Is Awkward.
Oh no.
Yeah, over 100 episodes of you and I talking about nothing in particular.
Oh no.
So, but no, big shout out to Corey. Wonderful message, and really happy to know that we add a little fun to her day. So that's what it's all about. When you're a podcaster, really, the most you're hoping for, I mean, you could hope for fame and fortune, but, you know, as my granny used to say, hope in one hand, shit in the other, see which one fills up first. But what you're really hoping for...
Don't do that.
Michelle's just like, him and his folksy wisdom. Well, you're like, my granny from the Bronx used to always say, move your fucking car. That's East Coast wisdom, right?
No, well, not my grandma. She wouldn't say that.
Really?
Yeah.
My great Aunt Betty used to say it was hotter than two foxes fucking in a forest fire.
My grandparents did not have language like that around me.
What did they say? What would they say then if they don't swear?
I don't know. What do you say when you don't swear? That kind of stuff.
I always swear.
Oh.
Shit.
Yeah. No, you don't. I
really don't.
Yeah.
No, hey man, my mom's side of the family's from Hazard, Kentucky. What do you want?
Yeah.
My great Aunt Betty brought me such other wonderful gems as Flibbity Gibbet. Mm-hmm. Heard your car was all Flibbity Gibbet. Glad you could make it. There's something so wonderful about the Briar Hopper dialect that was presented to me as a young man. So anyway, but I do want to just a huge thank you to the folks who've written in, whether it's via Spotify, because I don't know if you know this, but on Spotify, you can comment directly on a show. The comment goes directly to me. And then if I don't think it's too mean, I can publish it. I can't reply directly though. The only way to reply is to release another show and say, thanks for writing in. But I do enjoy the comments. We get a lot of cool comments in there. So, also want to mention, earlier this month on Valentine's Day on the 14th, if you guys missed it, we released a novella length episode of Weekly Spooky called Slasher Valentine Screams, which I think you guys would really enjoy if you missed it by some strange turn of events. So anyway, with all of that out of the way, today's topic, after we get to the spooky news, today's topic is going to be, I was thinking a lot about the fact that, this is a time of year when you're supposed to celebrate the man in your life.
Yes.
In this case, the Mothman in our life.
Okay.
You and I were talking a few days ago and you said you basically knew nothing about the Mothman.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a little deep dive, read through a little Wikipedia and talk about the Mothman in a little bit. And at the end of it, we'll both be vaguely smarter.
Yay.
So, or Chell, you could just talk about the chupacabra if you want.
Oh, God. They don't want to know about the chupacabra. It's just a coyote with mange.
Chell did the research for a very extended episode of Terrifying and True we're going to be releasing in October, all about the chupacabra. So she knows more about the chupacabra now than she ever would hope.
Yeah. Well, really, what I know is that coyotes with mange look really, really sad, and yes. I want to cuddle them, but I don't want to get mange, so I'm confused.
I still think you should start fostering coyotes with mange.
The problem is there aren't coyotes here.
You don't have any coyotes?
We don't have coyotes.
Really?
Yeah.
We have coyotes.
I know, and I think...
Do you want me to drop off some?
No, it's okay. I think I'm just too far away from forests and things because we don't in this area. I don't even have deer.
Really?
I just have lots of foxes.
Oh,
they run around.
We get a lot of those too.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah, we have deer and coyotes. I mean, I would never see a deer in my backyard, and I've never seen a coyote in my backyard, but I have seen people somewhat near me, and they're Ring cameras catching coyotes.
Yeah, so, we don't have any animals that are that large.
Yeah, that's why I keep an eye out because Wolfie's back legs aren't so good. So I don't let her outside at night alone ever. Yeah. Just because she's big. I think coyotes would just leave. They would just be like, nah, that's a huge dog. Mm-hmm. But I get paranoid because she's my little baby. She is snoring up a storm right now.
Aww.
Yep. Just laying there. Anyway, we're going to go to a quick break and then we'll be back with the spooky news. All right, we are back, and now it is time, my dear Spookies, to jump into the spooky news.
The spooky news.
So this story is important because, Chell, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a very strong judge of character. I pick up on subtle things very well. And the first thing I got from you right at the start of the show was that you really wanted to talk more about Valentine's Day. So we have this news story, which is also a list from Huffington Post 29 weird Valentine's Day gifts that will give your love a heart on.
I hate people so much.
I just thought this could be interesting and also very likely deeply cringe.
Yeah.
So, you ready for this?
Yeah, okay.
You're like, no.
Sure.
I don't wanna. So, Valentine's Day can be a weird time for lovers. Although partners in happy relationships acknowledge each other's differences and unique qualities, that seems to go out the window around February 14th. What?
Yeah, you no longer acknowledge their differences and unique qualities.
That's because people who ordinarily celebrate their lovers' quirks often feel obligated to switch gears and purchase boring, generic gifts that don't reflect what they love about their strange and wacky significant other. I myself am strange and wacky. Luckily, HuffPost Weird News is here to help. We've scoured the world looking for V-Day gifts that are sure to tickle the fancy of even the weirdest person. You consider yourself a weird person, don't you?
I don't think it matters what I consider myself. It only matters what the world considers me.
So that's a yes. So here's the first one. Exotic dancer apron. Yeah. This is an apron that's shown on a man's chest, and it makes him look like an exotic dancer with tassels on the nipples of the.
So, who are we getting this for? Like, what?
Well, it has a little thing that says sexy lingerie seems like a perfect way to celebrate Valentine's Day, but not when you're cooking over a hot stove. This exotic dancer apron splits the difference wonderfully, so much so that we promise no one will think you're actually wearing an apron. It looks like a cartoon. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I know what those look like. Yeah.
Well, here's one for everybody. The BDSM bear. When it comes to a slightly naughty V-Day gift, you can't beat a BDSM bear. Actually, I think you're supposed to beat it. It says, well, you can, but only with consent.
Aww.
It's just a little bear in leather with a little mask on, like a teddy bear.
You realize that stuffed animals can't give consent, right?
Again, coming from an anime fan, I'm going to take whatever you have to say with a grain of salt. I watch your favorite anime. I know you're weird. Here's another one. This one's kind of cute. Love Bug hair bow set. It is a hair bow, like a headband, but it has little twangers on the top that are two hearts.
Okay.
And the headband is polka dots. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I can't imagine who you'd get that for, and they'd be like, "Wow, the best thing ever."
Ordering this to your house right now.
No.
A word of advice: if your Valentine dresses up as a love bug, appreciate the sentiment and don't try to make a joke like, quote, "Is that some kind of STD? Trust us, it won't go well." Sorry, we're doing all 30 of these.
No.
Oh, here's a good one. Multicolored whipped cream.
Okay, fine.
You rolled your eyes so hard.
I did?
Why? What's wrong with multicolored whipped cream?
There's nothing wrong with multicolored whipped cream.
Sure, whipped cream can be a nice accessory to your lovemaking, but it's so monochromatic. Luckily, Whipnotic has found a way to add color to the dessert topping, which should make your love even sweeter.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of a little bit worried about multicolored whipped creams because I don't know if you can get how easy it is to get that dye out of fabrics. Is that going to be a problem?
I mean, it's going to be messy.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if you have normal whipped cream, you're not going to have trouble. It's not going to, you can wash it and it's fine. Are you going to ruin your sheets or your thing that you're wearing that I don't know what it would be?
What are your guesses?
What it would be?
Yeah, what you'd be wearing.
I don't know.
Well, here's one that you would actually like.
No.
Yeah. The Love Cat Tower.
Okay.
It's a cat tower.
Yeah.
You know, like for cats, but it has a heart-shaped bed on the top of it for them to climb up and sleep in.
Okay. I mean, it's a little weird. Cats can't even see red.
Well, that's okay because they can see the shape of the heart.
They don't even know what that means.
Oh, that's a little harsh. It says here, don't cats deserve a Valentine's Day gift too? Felines will enjoy this heart-shaped cat love tower. Even though, being cats, they will only show their appreciation in the form of silent contempt. Small victories. I kind of love this.
Good.
It's so stupid. Oh, you'll like this. This one's definitely up your alley. A dozen rosés, as in wine. Get it? Sure, flowers are pretty, but have you ever tried getting buzzed eating a bouquet? Yes, we both have.
We all
Absolutely.
have. Everyone has.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Instead, drive your Valentine to drink by giving them a dozen rosé wines instead of a dozen roses. It's like, get your lover drunk so they'll tolerate you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So some titles, I have to admit, really leave a lot to, you have to really interpret what they are. And this one is one of those. These are just called oral sex underwear. What?
I mean, that seems appropriate.
So it says, chew on this. Oral sex is great fun, but safe sex is still worth practicing. Luckily, there are undies specifically designed for the act. Thank you, technology. They're clear. They're like thin, clear latex underwear.
Oh. Okay.
Ooh, this one sounds weird. This is called the tick mitt.
Okay.
Tick mitt. Touch is an important part of any relationship, but it's even more important if your lover has been exposed to ticks. Oh God, it really means ticks. The tick mitt can allow you to caress your partner and remove pesky Lyme disease carrying insects at the same time. And then it says, who said romance is dead? And the image is of a woman's hand handing a man's hand the tick mitt in front of like wine and chocolates.
Oh,
it's like, honey, I love you. Will you tick mitt me? Of course I will, darling. Oh, okay, here we go. This is the Boob Ceramic Mug Novelty Pipe.
Ceramic mug novelty pipe.
So it looks like a mug, but it's a pipe.
Okay. It's a pipe. Mug.
I'm guessing for the marijuana.
I guess.
Does your Valentine feel like a boob sometimes? If so, they will find this ceramic pipe quite titillating. It's just a pair of boobs on a mug that's also a pipe.
Okay.
Has a really weird looking belly button though.
Huh.
Oh, here we go. This one is a DIY breast milk jewelry kit.
Wow. I don't know what that means.
I know what all those words mean, but not in that order.
Exactly.
Yeah, jewelry is a popular Valentine's Day gift, but if you want to make it more personal, make it yourself out of breast milk, assuming you have some to spare.
Huh. How do you make jewelry out of... Tell me.
It doesn't say.
What? What?
Doesn't say. Do you want me to go to the website where they sell it?
I don't know. I'm just wondering because you know how they made that diamond out of ranch dressing? Maybe.
Oh yeah. It says you'll receive everything you need to craft your own breast milk jewelry at home. The whole process will only take 2 to 3 hours over the course of a few days. Perfect for moms or littles. Or moms of littles. Our instructional handbook and videos will guide you every step of the way to creating beautiful pieces. This is at milkandhoney.jewelry, by the way.
Okay.
Let's see. So apparently it's like a powder you mix the milk with.
And it makes some sort of like thing.
It makes a kind of like a gem looking thing.
That's weird. I mean, I'm down for it. I don't think I could do it, but I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, so the kit comes with like little like thingies, like a locket that you can fill with like what looks like a milky jewel.
Yeah, I understand. Like an mold.
Onyx pendant or something.
Like a mold.
Like a mold, yeah. It also comes with a mortar and pestle. And two different chemicals.
Oh.
Yeah, chemicals. So that's that one. Okay, this one's cute actually.
I don't believe you.
It's called Great Tits Crotch Stick Kit. But it's for making birds and cross stitch.
Yay!
So they're
great
so it says
tits.
Yeah, great tits, but they're birds. Sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it. And if you want to tell your Valentine that you enjoy certain parts of their anatomy, perhaps cross-stitching is the best way to compliment them.
Yay.
Oh my God. This one, it just says The Shocker. It's a Halloween costume that's of a person like this, like looking like the Shocker. I don't want to describe what the Shocker. You don't know what that is, do you?
I don't know.
Okay, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
I'll just read the thing and we'll move on.
Okay.
If you are convinced that wearing a costume based on a sex act made famous in adult movies is the way to your Valentine's heart, then you have truly a one-of-a-kind relationship.
Oh, man, I wish I didn't say I didn't know what that was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, here's one for me. Doggy Cupid wings.
Aww.
And they got a big old boxer dog wearing these Cupid wings and a little like cushy bow and arrow with a heart arrow.
Yay.
Since dogs are more likely to bring people together than a mythological creature like Cupid, cut out the middleman and give Rover the job. I like how some of these feel like they were written by your grandpa and then others feel like they were written by, like a pornography addict.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, here's a good one. Inflatable engagement ring.
Is it really big?
Or it's huge. It's like a pool float.
Oh.
If your Valentine insists on a big ring for V-Day, well, this fits the bill. What?
Oh, no, I just want to say that if you're listening to this and you say, wow, it sounds like a good idea. That's not a good idea. That's not what they meant. They're not going to be happy.
If they complain, just point out that they weren't very specific.
Don't do that.
Also, remind them that a real diamond ring doesn't actually float. They'll appreciate the clarity.
Don't do any of that.
Don't do any of that. That's Chel's love advice for this show.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Oh my God. I think we're just barely halfway through all of these Valentine's gifts. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll return with the rest of these must-have Valentine's gifts that I guess you could use next year right here on Monthly Spooky. We are back with even more must-have Valentine's gift options. I don't know if anything will top the breast milk jewelry, though.
I mean, I guess. I think that's fine, actually.
Okay. Fair enough. This next one is very subtle as getting punched in the jaw. It's a penis pump.
Yeah, I saw.
It says, look, only you know whether your Valentine will be pumped to get this for Valentine's Day. Fingers crossed. Oh, here we go. Candy heart-shaped nipple pasties.
Yeah, again, like, who are we buying these for?
I don't know. Candy hearts are a traditional part of Valentine's Day, but have you ever tasted one? Ugh, I like the way Valentine hearts
candy
taste.
hearts.
You don't like them?
No,
I like
I do.
them. Yeah, I like them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
These nipple pasties have the same basic taste while being a tad sexier. I like that it's a tad sexier. Oh, dear God.
Yeah?
I mean, this is totally normal. This isn't bothersome at all. Swamp monster, scaly, silicone dildo.
Wow.
That's horrific. Go ahead, please.
No, you can.
For the love of God, say something.
I don't know what I was going to say.
Just imagine the pillow talk when you bring out this sex toy. Quote, is that a swamp monster scaly silicone dildo, or are you just glad to see me? And then under it just says, both? It's mortifying looking. Michelle, you describe it to the audience.
It's like just green, and it's pretty cute.
It has eyes.
Yeah, it does have eyes, which is a little confusing to me, but I don't really know how Swamp Monster anatomy works, so I might be confused.
Oh, gosh. Oh, here we go. This is one for Chell. The heart-shaped bong.
Oh, yeah. We'd already had a bong, maybe.
Well, that wasn't a bong. Bongs use water or something? I don't know. Valentine's Day doesn't have to be just about candles and flowers. Sometimes it can be about bongs. Wow, that was the laziest comment that they had.
Yeah.
Exposed ass shorts. But it's not. It's a pair of shorts with a rubber ass stuck to the back of them, so it looks like a butt is sticking out. But it's a rubber butt.
It's really weird, you know?
It says, looking for a cheeky Valentine's Day gift? These exposed butt shorts aren't the most asinine choice. Oh, asinine, I get it.
Yeah, they are, though.
Here's one you might actually like. Valentine-themed dryer balls.
Yeah, I kind of like them.
Do you use dryer balls?
Yeah.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Look at you.
Because I don't use, fabric softener.
Dryer balls may help prevent laundry from clumping, but they don't exactly scream romance, do they? Yes, they do when they have Valentine's Day hearts on them. Your love will think of you every time they're worried that about their laundry clumping, and know you were there for them at a difficult time.
Yeah, see, that's a good little comment there.
Is that your top choice so far?
Yeah, I like that one.
Here we go. Eggplant vibrator.
Oh.
Thank goodness it's just an eggplant shaped vibrator and not like something that you have to connect an actual eggplant to. I feel like that would be weird. Adding more vegetables to your diet is good for your health. Adding an eggplant vibrator to your bedroom toys could be good for your sex life. Wow. Yeah, these are they are not all winners. The quotes. I
wonder if HuffPost or whoever it is was like, okay, everyone find some things and write about it and we'll put it in an article. So you have like some people who are kind of talented or really trying, and you have some people who aren't trying.
They're just like, here, it's an eggplant vibrator. It's an eggplant.
There you go.
Ooh, a body pillow to replace you if partner is a tad too clingy. Well, you like anime, and they're all about body pillows, right?
No.
I think they are.
No, I think you're wrong.
Okay.
There's no body pillows in anime.
Can't be there for your Valentine? This giant pillow will give them something to snuggle while you do whatever it is you do. I have many times considered sending you anime body pillows for like holidays as a joke.
Yeah.
I really have considered it because I find them of like animes, characters from animes you like. I find body pillows on like Amazon and I'm like, I could just send it to Chell.
They're always like super suggestive. Obviously.
Imagine.
Yeah.
I know I found one of Reagan from Mob Psycho 100.
Yeah, there are a ton of him. Yeah.
Jelly Belly squishy toy. Okay. Jelly, it's just a giant jelly bean that isn't a jelly bean. It's a toy. It's like a stress ball.
Okay.
Jelly beans are a sweet gift unless you're trying to avoid sugar. Solution, this Jelly Belly themed squishy toy. It's not edible, but your Valentine can use it as a stress ball when you annoy them, and you will. That's good.
Just by buying them that, you're annoying them.
That's fair. Oh, it says get it at Meijer.com. So that's not even like a special source. It's just like the grocery chain Meijer. Here's one. Cannabis seltzer.
Yep.
Wine is typically a good Valentine's Day gift, but if alcohol isn't an option, these cannabis seltzers are a good way to get that romantic buzz.
I like the if alcohol isn't an option. It's like, why isn't it an option?
I mean, I'm assuming it would be because you're an alcoholic.
I don't know if it's good to drink another drug.
I've heard people say that it's better.
Okay.
So I can't say for sure, but that's becoming a big part of consumable, like the consumable intoxicant market is becoming things that are like a wine where they remove all the alcohol and then add THC instead.
Interesting.
So you can get like a little funky feeling, but you're not, drunk, because I guess drunk is very different. We're not the people to talk about this.
Yeah.
A cigarette rolling machine. It's just two people rolling cigarettes with a vase of flowers.
Yeah.
Is your Valentine all out of joint? This cigarette rolling machine will make sure that never happens again.
Oh, I was on Reddit and we're talking about things. I don't remember what we're talking about. But somebody was like, they brought up broccoli rolling machines.
What?
That are obviously supposed to be used for like pot.
Oh.
But they marketed it as like you roll your broccoli in here and they had a picture of broccoli in it. It's great.
That's what I would use it for. I like broccoli.
Yeah, and I like making it into a nice little tight shape.
Oh God, here's some horrors beyond all human comprehension right here. That's terrifying. The masturbation glove.
Huh.
Would you care to describe this to the audience? Please, it's mortifying.
It's like looks like it's like silicone.
Yeah.
And it's got all these little spikes coming out of it that I assume are flexible.
God, I hope so. They look like spines. They're terrifying.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you can't be around to take care of your Valentine's needs, give them a hand with this masturbation glove. I've never picked a thing for us on the show that I've so equally regretted and been so happy I picked at the same time.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know. It probably wasn't good.
Oh, good. Now we're just on to like just straight up sex toys. Yeah. The Tanya Tate stroker. It's I'm guessing it's molded off of some porn star named Tanya Tate.
Oh, okay.
It says variety is the spice of life, but if monogamy is important to you, maybe the stroker designed to reproduce the inner anatomy of porn. Why do you got to describe it that way? Of Tanya Tate will give you and your partner some wiggle room. Ew.
Also,
what? Also,
I just want to say, like, I'm finding a lot of these to be like, oh, you could get this for yourself. Are you really going to get your partner a Tanya Tate stroker?
No.
That's weird.
Here's one I actually wouldn't mind having. Pink Bigger Cable Wrangler.
Yay.
It's hard to, it's for phone cables.
Yay.
It's hard to think about Valentine's Day when you have computer cords scattered about. Wow, they're stretching hard now. This pink cable wrangler will let your lover know you understand that everything has its place and there's a place for everything.
You're so messy. Here, have this thing.
Yeah, but it's pink because Happy Valentine's Day.
Don't get these things for people.
Okay, good news. This is the last one. You're welcome. Mindful Intimacy card deck. Yes, strip poker is a marvelous game, but some people don't know what to do when the clothes finally come off. At that point, maybe you need to switch to this Mindful Intimacy card deck, which offers 136 prompts on things to do you can do naked. And no, frying chicken in a shallow pan isn't one of them.
But it should be.
At least they ended strong on the joke about frying chicken in a shallow pan. So that is Huffington Post's 29 weird Valentine's Day gifts that will give your love a heart on. So which one am I going to send you, Chell?
You can send me the little dryer balls with the hearts.
I was actually just thinking, I was like, you actually really liked that one.
Yeah,
So.
I think they're cute. I would use them all the time.
I use dryer balls as well, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, they're an affordable way to help with drying your clothes, because using dryer sheets gets expensive.
Also, dryer sheets are really bad for your dryer.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think so. And also, all the fabric softener isn't really good for your clothes either.
Huh.
But that's not why I use dryer balls. I don't know why I do, and I don't think they work very well. But whatever.
Wow. Getting some hot takes off of Chell right now.
Sorry.
Well, I hope you're right that dryer sheets are bad for dryers, because then I can celebrate the fact that I have a new dryer that's never had a dryer sheet in it. Yeah.
I think they really are.
That's
I'm
right.
almost positive that they are.
I am great. I'm doing such a good job with my new dryer. It's got to be knocking on not almost a year old. I think I got it in like October or something like that. Anyway,
I don't remember when you got it.
You're supposed to keep track of these things, Chell.
Sorry.
I'll forgive you this one time.
Thanks.
But we're going to take a real quick break, and we're going to get back with not Valentine's Day themed scary news stories and bizarre news stories, including this story, which really interests me because the headline from NPR simply says, Alabama mom is 1 in a million delivering 2 babies from 2 uteruses in 2 days.
Wow.
So we'll talk all about that story and a whole lot more when we return. All right, we're back talking about the Alabama mom delivering 2 babies from 2 uteruses in 2 days, courtesy of your favorite, Chell, NPR.
Yeah.
How much NPR do you reckon you listen to in a day?
No.
You don't want that information public?
No, it's okay. Because then NPR will come for me and they'll be like, why don't you pay us money?
Oh, you don't get the tote bag?
No, I don't have any money. I can't pay them.
So you're basically stealing.
No, because they told me it's okay because I don't have any money.
I don't think that's what they said, but
they
okay.
literally said that to me, particularly.
You're just like, and later on, we're going to find out what happened when blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But real quick, Michelle, we just want you to know it's okay if you can't pay for NPR.
That's exactly what happens.
And then you were like, anyway, here's the sound of your carbon monoxide detector. Beep, beep, beep. Okay. 32-year-old Kelsey Hatcher welcomed 2 beautiful baby girls into the world last week, delivering fraternal twins at the University of Alabama at Birmingham Hospital. But unlike typical twins, the newborns came from 2 separate wombs.
Wow.
Yeah. This is interesting. Hatcher vaginally delivered her first baby, Roxy, at 7:45 p.m. on December 19th, followed by Rebel, who was delivered by C-section about 10 hours later on December 20th.
That's a lot of... I feel bad.
Why?
That's just like a lot of stuff to have to go through.
Right before Christmas, too.
Yeah.
Those kids are forever going to be like, hey, I hope you don't mind, this is your birthday and Christmas present.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Her experience is what's known as dicavitary pregnancy.
Yeah.
Or dicavitary pregnancy, according to a University of Alabama at Birmingham news release. The National Library of Medicine says this type of pregnancy is believed to be a 1 in a million occurrence.
Wow.
There's like 300 million people in America, so that means there's like 300 people doing it. That's not special.
I think it's still pretty special.
No, it's super special. Hatcher was a teen when she was diagnosed with uterus didelphys, commonly referred to as double uterus, which occurs in 0.3% of women.
Wow.
According to the Cleveland Clinic. She also has 2 cervixes.
Wow.
And though she had 3 typical pregnancies in years past, oh wow, so she's had 3 other pregnancies where this didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Hatcher's 4th go-around threw Hatcher's obstetrician, Dr. Shweta Perel, for a loop when the first ultrasound showed 2 fetuses in 2 uteruses.
That's so weird.
You don't see that every day.
Yeah.
Quote, I had already taken care of Kelsey through the 3rd pregnancy and knew she had a double uterus, but that was only 1 baby. 2 babies and 2 uteri. Aha, the plural of uterus is uteri. Were a true medical surprise. But I knew it. It was earlier in the article. It said Dr. Shweta Perel. It was a typo. It's Patel.
Yeah.
Look, I have nothing against Indian doctors. We have a ton of Indian doctors here. I have had in my life 2 different Dr. Patels from 2 totally different medical professions. So I was like, Perel? I think this is a Patel.
Yeah, I just assumed it was because Shweta is a very Indian name.
Yeah.
So,
but just the name Patel, I swear, like I know people who have Dr. Patels in their life. Like it's just a very common Indian last name.
Patel
too.
is a really common Indian
Yeah.
last name.
So I don't even I figured they were Indian, but when I saw Perel, I was like, is that an Indian last name I've never heard? And then this next part said Patel. So I just want to mention that. And shout out to both the Dr. Patels. They were really good to me when I was very, very ill. Patel told the university's communication department. And then it says Perel again.
They don't know what they're doing. Maybe it is Perel. And maybe the Patel is a typo.
Perel, who's also an assistant professor in the school's Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, co-managed Hatcher's pregnancy alongside Dr. Richard O. Davis, professor in the school's maternal fetal medicine department, who specializes in high-risk and unique cases. The university says that neither doctor in their nearly 60 years of combined experience had delivered dicavitary twins.
Wow.
However, given the unusual circumstances of Hatcher's pregnancy, some wondered whether or not the newborns constituted twins, which the university says is defined by 2 babies in 1 uterus in the same pregnancy.
Yeah.
You're mad now. You're like, they're not twins. You're a phony.
I actually don't think they're twins.
Oh. Davis told the communications department it's safe to say they're fraternal twins.
Boo!
Sorry, they're a doctor, unlike you.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
It's okay.
That was too mean. Quote, at the end of the day, it was 2 babies in 1 belly at the same time, he said. They just had 2 different apartments.
Which to me makes them not twins, but that's okay.
Ouch. You're like, well, if you live in 2 different apartments in a building, you're not roommates.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm with Chell on this one, actually.
Yeah.
For once, I'm with you.
Thanks.
For now. So, this next news story from Huffington Post is about the other important holiday in February. How Groundhog Day and Punxsutawney Phil became a thing. I have always been curious.
Okay.
Do you know about it or not? Because you live in PA, but you're not from there originally.
Yeah, and it's also in Western PA, so it's not like... Yeah. No, not really. I don't really know.
Well, this article's from Kutztown, Pennsylvania.
Yay! Kutztown.
Kutztown. The spotlight will be on Gobbler's Knob in Western Pennsylvania early Friday morning when handlers of a groundhog named Punxsutawney Phil will announce whether he saw his own shadow and predict 6 more weeks of winter or an early spring. I believe he predicted 6 more weeks of winter.
No, he predicted an early spring.
He's predicted early spring?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he saw his shadow. That's
Did groundhog see shadow 2024? Punxsutawney emerged from the burrow. Did not see his shadow, which indicates early spring.
Yay.
So you were right. You were wrong, but you were right. You were right in the wrongest way.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, this article is obviously from right before Groundhog Day. Thousands are expected to attend the annual event that exploded in popularity after the 1993 Bill Murray movie, Groundhog Day. I almost wanted to go Stripes and just... do you like that movie? I love Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I like Groundhog Day.
Have you read the... Oh, wait, you know this because you watched Round and Round. That it's theorized that he spent like 15 years living the same day over and over.
Yeah.
When you hear that, then all of a sudden the scenes where he just kills himself again and again and again start to make a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. It's part of a tradition rooted in European agricultural life, marking the midpoint between the shortest day of the year on the winter solstice and the spring equinox. It's also a time of year that figures in the Celtic calendar and the Christian holiday of Candlemas. I've not heard of Candlemas.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there like a candle clause?
Yeah.
It's like, ho, 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 I'm on fire.
Yeah.
And in eastern and central Pennsylvania, where people of German descent have been watching the groundhog's annual emergence from hibernation for centuries, there's a tradition of groundhog clubs and celebrations that are independent of Punxsutawney Phil.
Huh.
Yeah, I was into groundhogs when it was still underground. Some dismiss the Punxsutawney event as an unworthy rival to their own festivities. Yep, nailed that one. I was into it before it was all mainstream and lame.
Well, I mean, considering like they take the groundhog and they shove him in a hole and then they take him out and then they say if he saw his shadow or not, he's not even allowed to say that for himself. That's kind of, yeah, I believe those people in the areas of PA closer to me.
Is it actually because they're closer to you that you believe them? Okay. Which say forecasts more. Wait, okay. Some dismiss the Punxsutawney event as an unworthy rival to their own festivities, which they say forecast more accurate weather predictions.
Yeah.
Right. We're talking about a rat, like a creature that's like, it doesn't predict the weather. I'm sorry.
I always thought it was interesting because even though I got it wrong a minute ago, I always thought it should be the other way. Because if he sees his shadow, it means it's sunny out. Probably.
Oh.
So I would think maybe that would make it that the spring is coming soon because it's going to be warm. And if he doesn't see his shadow, it's like dark out. So maybe it's cold. But,
shows what you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't know anything. The groundhogs predict stuff.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Take that. There have been weather predicting groundhogs in at least 28 United States and Canadian provinces, and less formal celebrations far and wide. One thing it's not, serious business. Quote, "We know this is silly. We know this is fun," Marcy Galando, executive director of the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club, said. "We want people to come here with a sense of humor."
Aw.
So now we get into what are the holiday's origins.
Okay.
Celtic people across Europe mark the 4 days that are midway between the winter solstice and spring equinox, the summer solstice and fall equinox. What the Celts called Imbolc is also known when Christians celebrate Candlemas. Also around when Christians celebrate Candlemas, timed to Joseph and Mary's presentation of Jesus at the Temple of Jerusalem.
Okay, now we know what it is.
Ancient people would watch the sun, stars, and animal behavior to guide farming practices and other decisions, and the practice of watching an animal's emergence from winter hibernation to forecast weather has roots in a similar German tradition involving badgers or bears. Badgers, bears, Battlestar Galactica. Pennsylvania Germans apparently substituted the groundhog, endemic to the eastern and midwestern United States.
I mean, they kind of look like little bears.
They do.
Yeah. And they stand up.
They do. They're so cute.
Look around.
Historians have found a reference in an 1841 diary to groundhog weather forecasts in early February among families of German descent in Morgantown, Pennsylvania, according to the late Don Yoder. That's an Amish last name, Yoder. I hear that a lot with the Amish. A University of Pennsylvania professor whose 2003 book about Groundhog Day explored the Celtic connection. Yoder concluded the festival has its roots in, quote, ancient, undoubtedly prehistoric, weather lore.
Oh, prehistoric.
Whoa.
Wow.
Dinos, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on now.
If the Brontosaurus sees its shadow, it's the Ice Age for all of us.
Yeah.
So now the question is, why is it celebrated in Punxsutawney?
I don't know.
Punxsutawney is an area that Pennsylvania Germans settled and in the late 1880s started celebrating the holiday by picnicking, hunting, and eating groundhogs.
Oh, no.
I was joking when I said, like, gotta eat a roast groundhog for Groundhog Day. Apparently, they actually would eat groundhogs.
Oh.
Sorry, this is your state. You have to be okay with it.
No.
That's the way that works. Members of the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club organized in 1899.
Wow.
They care for Phil at a customized space besides Punxsutawney Memorial Library, where there's a window with a view into the creature's burrow.
Yeah, I'm sure they really like that.
Oh, you don't know. You haven't talked to a groundhog lately.
No.
The Punxsutawney groundhog makes predictions, but he's not always predictable. The designated groundhog emerged before sunrise in 1929 and didn't come out until late afternoon in 1941.
Don't they pick him up and take him out?
I'm pretty sure he has to come out on his own, actually.
How do they get him to come out?
Ask nice.
Oh. Or do they like scare him out of his enclosure?
Ah!
Yeah.
The Bill Murray movie caused such a resurgence of interest that 2 years after it came out, event organizers voiced concern about rowdy crowds drinking all night, people climbing trees, and others stripping to their underwear.
Wow.
In 1998, a Groundhog Club leader wearing a $4,000 groundhog suit reported being assaulted by a half dozen young men.
Wow.
Alcohol is now prohibited at Gobbler's Knob, Phil's spot some 80 miles northeast of Pittsburgh.
Wow.
So, and here's a question about the competition with Punxsutawney Phil. The early festivities in Punxsutawney were followed in 1907 by folks in Quarryville, a farming area in Lancaster County in Pennsylvania's southeastern corner. The roughly 240 members of the Slumbering Groundhog Lodge there reported the winter forecast from Octaro Orphy, or at least via his well-preserved remains. They used a dead groundhog?
Ew.
This is getting so weird.
How did they preserve him? Did they taxidermy him, or they put him in some?
I would assume they I'm reading. I don't know. Quarryville Lodge Board Chair Charlie Hart said the organization has dinners and other social events throughout the year, but is largely focused on Groundhog Day. I do love the name Slumbering Groundhog Lodge.
It's not slumbering, it's dead.
Hart credits Orphy. I like that it's Octoro Orphy is its name. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Hart credits Orphy as a far better forecaster than Phil. Octoro Orphy has never been wrong, Hart said. This is the 116th year, and in the previous 115, he's been right on the money every year.
He's dead.
It's getting weird, man. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll talk a little bit more about groundhogs and Groundhog Day and the weird world of Pennsylvania after these quick words. And we're back to learn more about groundhogs, or apparently whistle pigs?
Yeah.
So that's another word for groundhog? I'd never heard that before.
Yeah, it is.
The groundhog, this is from the HuffPost article. The groundhog is a member of the squirrel family and related to chipmunks and prairie dogs. It's also known as a woodchuck, a whistle pig, or, in the parlance of the Pennsylvania Dutch, a language with German roots, the Grunsow.
Huh.
Ah, the old Grunsow.
Yeah.
Groundhogs are herbivores that are themselves edible to humans.
What?
Although they are not widely consumed. Their lifespan in the wild is typically 2 or 3 years.
Oh no, my groundhog's gonna die soon.
Well, you better bring him in.
He's gonna die under my shed.
Oh, just where you always like to be.
Yeah.
The Pennsylvania Game Commission says about 36,000 hunters reported killing more than 200,000 groundhogs last year.
Wow.
Game Commission spokesperson Travis Lau found groundhog a bit stinky to clean with thick skin. Quote, "It's actually really good, no doubt about it, and to my taste more like beef than venison is," Lau said. Quote, "The whole family ate it and liked it, and everybody had apprehensions at first."
Okay.
Some cooks advise groundhogs are best taken when they are young and after clover is in bloom, since a clover diet is thought to improve the meat's taste.
Okay.
Michelle doesn't eat meat, let alone groundhog, yet. So, when did the clubs and lodges spring up? Starting in the 1930s, groundhog lodges opened in eastern Pennsylvania. They were social clubs with similarities to Freemasonry.
Huh.
So they were secret. They kept a bunch of secrets about groundhogs,
yeah.
about whistle pig.
Yeah.
Intended to preserve Pennsylvania German culture and traditions, clubs would sometimes fine those who were caught speaking anything but their Pennsylvania Dutch language at meetings.
Wow.
They were traditionally all-male groups, and 15 such clubs remain active. They all share the unifying feature of a groundhog's weather prognostication, said William W. Donner, a Kutztown University anthropology professor and author of Serious Nonsense, a book about such lodges and other efforts to preserve German heritage.
Huh.
Quote, "I think it's just one of these traditional rituals that people enjoy participating in that maybe take them away from modern life for just 15 minutes, Donner said.
Yeah, I guess.
So here's one last piece. Will Phil get it right this year? Some well-meaning efforts have sought to determine Phil's accuracy, but what, quote, 6 weeks of winter means is debatable.
Yeah.
Claims that a groundhog has or has not seen its shadow and that it's able to communicate that to a human are also fair territory for skeptics and the humor impaired.
Hey.
Well, feel like that was a personal attack?
Yeah.
By all accounts, Phil predicts more winter far more often than he predicts an early spring. Groundhogs are mostly solitary creatures who start to emerge in midwinter to find a mate. The science behind whether they can make any accurate weather predictions is problematic at best. Among the skeptics is the National Centers for Environmental Information within the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The government agency last year compared Phil's record with the U.S. national temperatures over the prior decade and concluded he was right only 40% of the time.
Wow. I thought it was 50%, so he actually does a bad job.
Yeah. I wonder how likely chance would be. Probably 40%.
I mean, I would think that chance would be 50%.
Oh, I feel like chance is sometimes higher than 50%.
But it's one or the other.
What percentage is chance? That was not a good question to ask Google. I don't understand any of the, and I'm going to just close this page. All right. So now it's time for us to do something that I'm sure you were wondering. I mean, when were we going to talk about an article from mirror.co.uk?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, we're finally here.
Yay.
Thank goodness. Erie CCTV leaves haunted tea shop owner spooked after milk jug thrown from shelf.
Oh, no.
You like tea?
I do.
Well, we'll see how this goes. Let's see. All right. A picturesque village cafe has been the site of multiple strange incidents, with the latest one being a flying milk jug that was caught on camera. Workers at the popular cafe near Bolton said the mystery of flying is just the latest in a string of unexplained incidents. Yeah, they need a copy editor.
Yeah.
Fueling fears that the tea shop is haunted.
Yeah. Yeah.
The family-run Rivington Village Green Tea Room was closed and nobody inside when the staff said a milk jug was mysteriously thrown from a shelf, the Manchester Evening News reports. So I'm guessing the milk jug was empty.
I hope so. Otherwise, why is it just sitting out there?
Maybe in England, that's just what they do. They just leave milk out. It's like their favorite. They just like it.
Ew.
They're just like, let's do it. Let's just leave the milk out.
No.
Why does that bother you? It's fine.
Because I don't want the milk to go bad.
Oh, it's only bad if you don't drink it.
Yeah.
Other spooky occurrences at the cafe include a ghostly face being seen, as well as other items moving and falling inexplicably. A friendly ghost called Annabelle lives in the building. Staff were also told by a psychic. So they brought in a psychic who said, oh yeah, there's a friendly ghost here named Annabelle.
Okay.
And they were like, cool, but like, what's throwing our milk jug?
The friendly ghost. Annabelle. I don't understand what the problem is.
I'm sorry that I questioned ye. Co-owner Jade Tolan checked the CCTV cameras from her mobile phone and saw a milk jug that had been stored under the counter on the floor. She rolled the footage back and saw it mysteriously fly off the tray where it had been left. Quote, I thought to myself, that's unusual, she told reporters. Quote, it was left on a tray that has a lip, so it's not like it would have just slipped off.
Yeah.
And they weren't stacked on top of each other. They've never fallen off before.
Yeah.
I did wonder about vibrations, but I checked and there were no cars or anything outside at the time. Rivington was peaceful and quiet. There is then a kind of flash of light beforehand. There was a flash of light and then and then the jug gets thrown apparently. In the clip, something can be seen falling off a shelf in the bottom right-hand corner. Although it cannot be fully seen, staff say this was a small glass milk jug. Quote, it is very strange, but you get an awful lot of strange things happening here. One of our chefs who worked here for 13 years recently, one of our chefs who worked here for 13 years recently, and we have been saying, oh, that must have been Brian. I think they mean that chef passed away. I
guess. Jeez, guys.
They have so much ghost stuff to report, they don't have time to copy edit.
At least don't leave out the words that explain things.
But remember that time that they told us the age of the dead grandfather?
Oh my god. Was he 57?
Something like that. Jade's grandmother, Elise Kent, now 85, took over the cafe in 1972. And it has been in the family with Jade, 31, running it with Mum Jane, 64. And it is not the first thing that has made them suspect the supernatural could be at work. In 2020, Jade said what appeared to be a face could be made out in what was thought to be fog captured on CCTV cameras inside the building. Whilst in 2021, the footage also captured what appeared to be a cloud in the middle of the dining area.
That would be weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing what they mean, like fog.
Yeah,
cloud, but
I assume both of those things are similar.
Yeah.
You know, the fog and the cloud.
I mean, it's definitely uncommon for a tea shop. So here's my question. Would you still shop at this tea shop if they had good stuff?
I don't see why not.
You wouldn't be afraid of a ghost throwing tea at you or something?
No, they haven't even done anything while anyone's there.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you're right. It doesn't seem very scary, actually. Let's see. We've had suspicions for years, Jade said. I'm constantly finding things that have been moved or things that have fallen off shelves in the upstairs stockroom, but that doesn't have CCTV, so I haven't been able to show people before. There was once I was waiting for a workman, and I was sure someone came past me and went up the stairs. I don't like being in here on my own, put it that way. Oh, so there's a picture of the cloud, and it looks weird. It looks like it's not filling the room. It's like the size of like a beach ball, just by a chair.
Interesting.
It looks more like a smudge or just like something like an error. It doesn't
maybe.
It doesn't really look like a cloud to me. It just looks like a weird patch in the video. But that's just me, and I'm a bad person.
It would kind of depend on how long it stayed and if it did anything. Like, I'd need to see a video of it.
Did it like float around? Did it sing Mammy? You know, did it?
Yeah.
Did it put on a show? Did it see its shadow and predict winter? You know?
Yeah.
We regularly have psychic medium nights. And I said I felt like I was being watched, and they said, you are. That's helpful. There's a ghost who lives here called Annabelle, but she's friendly, and she's pleased at what you've done to improve the place.
Okay.
I like the idea that ghosts are judgy. They're just like, oh, thank goodness those floors were so old. Like, they looked so like they looked so like 1921. I'm glad you updated this place. That's weird to me. The ghost is just like, thanks for making the place nicer.
I don't think it's weird. I think if I was a ghost, I'd be like that.
Is really?
Yeah.
Is that why would you throw milk jugs to let them know you like the changes?
No, because I would make sure if I was going to throw things, it would be like in the middle of the CCTV thing so they'd know. And then I'd like hold the milk jug in the air for a minute. And then I give them a thumbs up, but they can't see it.
Or you would like write on a piece of paper.
Yeah, like, this is really nice now. Thanks, guys.
Signed, Annabelle the Ghost.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that they have psychic medium nights. It sounds like it's just a good way to sell tea.
Yeah.
Quote, I'm not sure I am 100% convinced, but a group called Para Northern has also done stuff here, and they say they've heard stuff. It makes you think.
It does make you think.
They've done stuff here, and they say they've heard stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on here, kids. There is speculation the building in the picturesque village between Bolton and Chorley may have been used to store ammunition in the World Wars with Northern saying they encountered an American pilot during one of their visits.
What?
They may have used, well, it actually says they may have used to store ammunition. So I think they mean used the shop.
Well, why would there be an ammunition? American pilot there?
I don't know. It's a mirror.co.uk story, okay? Like, ooh, there was a ghost or something. Anyway, here's a lot of ads. Ooh. I love mirror.co.uk. They're so trashy. Aww. It's the best. So, we got a few more pieces of spooky news before we dive into the Mothman, but we're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be right back after these words. And we're back with some more spooky news. And this one, I'm open about the fact I picked these stories based on the headlines.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these headlines are mind-blowing.
Wow.
This one, first of all, it starts with one of the greatest starts to a headline there is, which is Florida Man. That's number one. But this is from Huffington Post. Florida man sues Duncan over injuries following toilet explosion.
Uh-oh.
Now, as a home inspector, Michelle.
Yeah.
What do you think would cause a toilet to explode?
Well, I don't know what they mean by explosion, because I guess there could be a crack somewhere in like the bowl or the guy that lives up above the bowl, the tank. And maybe when he like sat on it, it like exploded that way. Or maybe there's like pressure in the sewage system and it like, whoa, like that. They don't normally explode. That's not normally something I have to look for. So.
We need to get you to a point where like when things like news stories break, you're like the place that like a news services call, like Michelle Antisocial here to talk about, she's a professional home inspector in Philadelphia. Michelle, what do you think would you're just like, yes. And then you just start crying and they're like, oh God, cut to something else.
But that's my whole thing. So they cut to me just for me to cry and then they cut to someone else.
So this is in Orlando, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
A customer filed a negligence lawsuit against Duncan, claiming he was injured by an exploding toilet at one of the coffee chain's locations in Central Florida.
Okay.
Paul Kerouac is seeking more than $100,000 in a lawsuit filed Wednesday in state court in Orlando, claiming he suffered severe and long-term injuries following the explosion of a toilet in the men's room of a Dunkin' location in Winter Park, Florida, a year ago. First, I want to say that sounds like not a lot of damages.
I know.
Like, if I was on a toilet that exploded and it hurt me, I'd want $1 million minimum.
Yeah.
It's Dunkin' Donuts. Or I'm sorry, Dunkin'. It's just Dunkin' now. They're just Dunkin'.
Yeah, Dunkin'.
Dunkin'.
Yeah.
Dunkin'. So.
I wish they dropped the Dunkin' and they were just donuts.
Have you heard the new one is people are saying, I can't wait till they're just the apostrophe. They're just, After the explosion left Kerouac covered in, After the explosion left Kerouac covered in human feces, urine, and debris, he walked out of the men's room seeking help from workers and the store's manager, according to the lawsuit. An employee told him that they were aware of a, quote, problem with the toilet since there had been previous incidents, the lawsuit says, without diving into further details about the explosion.
No, please explain it to me. I don't understand.
Well, first of all, that employee's getting fired.
Yeah.
Just immediately admitting culpability of the company.
Oh, yeah, we know about it. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, I wondered when that would explode. Well, shit. You'll laugh later.
Yeah.
When contacted Thursday by email for more details on Kerouac's injuries, his attorney, Scott Spradley, said he was tied up and couldn't answer the questions until the following day. The Canton, Massachusetts-based company did not immediately respond to an email seeking comment. The lawsuit says Kerouac suffered bodily injury, and he has required mental health care and counseling since the incident in January of 2022.
He probably can't sit on a toilet without freaking out.
Dude, I'd be afraid to sit on a toilet if the last time I did it, it exploded. Wouldn't you?
No, but I understand.
Hold on, we gotta follow this up.
I need to know what happened.
This article had almost nothing in it, so I'm gonna see if I can figure out. Let's see, Business Insider covered it. And they want money. Nope. All right, let's try AP News. Although I think it's probably the same exact one. Yeah, it's the same article. God damn it! I want to know why the toilet exploded.
Yeah.
Orlando Weekly.
That might be good.
Let's see. We're imagining the toilet bomb scene from Lethal Weapon 2. Oh, they're making a lot of jokes. There is no information about what made that toilet explode.
I have maybe a USA Today article.
Okay, I just found one on Fox Business.
Okay.
What's yours saying?
He's seeking $50,000.
Of at least $50,000 and alleges the franchise was negligent?
It says a Florida man is seeking $50,000 in damages after a toilet at Dunkin' location exploded and covered him in debris, feces, and urine. The commode erupted, leaving the plaintiff and the loo covered in contents, the lawsuit stated.
Kerouac, according to Fox Business, says Kerouac said that as a result of the toilet explosion, he suffered bodily injury and psychological damages, resulting in pain and suffering, disability, permanent and significant emotional injury, mental anguish, loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life, expensive medical care, and treatment.
Loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life? That's so sad.
That's the most lawyery thing I've ever heard, too.
I mean, to be fair, I would not lose my capacity for the enjoyment of life just because a toilet exploded. I understand.
The lawsuit argues that the franchisee had a duty to Kerouac and its customers to maintain the men's room and the toilet in a reasonably safe condition. I think that's a fair point. That a toilet should be reasonably safe to use.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably code that it needs to be safe.
Oh God, the comments.
I'm looking on Reddit to see if I can figure out what the hell, because someone's asking the same question, like, how did it explode?
Yeah.
And some person...
Oh, here's a good one. Somebody commented on Fox Business, said Chris Christie was seen leaving the bathroom moments before. Sorry, what did you say?
Oh, there were people just talking about, well, maybe there was some flammable gas buildup or a water valve burst, which is probably not the water valve because poop wouldn't be coming up.
Yeah.
But somebody just commented, not even the actual court documents say what happened.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So I have no idea.
Yeah. Another good comment. I had that happen to me at Taco Bell. Wait, maybe it was the other way around. Exploding toilets. Well, here's another story from mirror.co.uk. We're going to get away from the shitty situation and back to ghosts.
Oh.
But one of the reasons, Chell, that I love talking about ghost stories with you is because of your expertise in houses.
Oh.
You know houses. So when somebody says like, the walls are bleeding, I'm like, Michelle, what's actually happening?
Yeah.
You're like, the walls are bleeding. They're A negative. No.
Yeah.
But this is from mirror.co.uk. The headline says, I moved into a haunted house. I could tell something was off right away.
Oh.
You look so concerned.
Yeah.
A woman claims to have lived alongside ghosts when she moved back in with her parents after traveling the world. Sharing her story, her daughter explained how her mom, a former professional ice skater, said something felt off as soon as she stepped foot back into her parents' house.
Wow.
Sharing her mom's encounter on Reddit, she says she experienced numerous strange incidents, including strange noises, things appearing to have moved around the house when no one had touched them, and the sounds of a party next door when the building adjoining them was a bank that was closed in the evenings.
They're just having parties there. Like, it's okay.
You can have a party at a closed bank.
Yeah.
As long as nobody steals the money.
Yeah.
But, yeah. The skeptical daughter added, quote, so my mom traveled the world for a few years when she was 18 and 19. This would have been in the mid-1970s. She quit ice skating and moved back in with her parents. They lived in a flat above a shop in a small seaside town called Chevleys. It's about a 10-minute drive away from Blackpool. When she moved in, she said right away something felt off about the place. She never said she felt scared, but just different.
Wow.
She said the first time anything strange happened was a few days after she moved in. She was fast asleep in bed and her dad came in to bring her a cup of tea. He said something along the lines of, did you fall back asleep? She asked what he meant. He said that he had heard her get up, heard the bathroom door open and close, and footsteps.
I mean, it's possible that she was like half asleep and she got up and went to the bathroom and then went back to sleep.
I don't know that that's ever happened.
No.
I mean, that doesn't sound like a thing.
Yeah.
The daughter said that her mom told her that a few days later she walked into the back room and it was thick with pipe smoke.
Oh.
She said her mom thought that was a really odd as no one in the flat and that
Oh, I'm sorry.
she said her mom thought that was really odd as no one in the flat smoked and that from then on the smell of pipe smoke and unexplained appearance of pipe smoke happened on a regular basis. So someone sneaking smoking a pipe.
Well, so, I mean, my thought would just be that when you smoke, that stuff gets stuck in your walls, and it can, you can get the smell can come back. It doesn't even have to be their family that smoked, but if they saw actual smoke.
Yeah, it seems like they said thick with pipe smoke.
Well, to me, that means just the smell was thick.
To me, it would be
heavy.
it would be smoke in the air is thick. That's what I would imagine, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I think it could probably be either. So,
I mean, pipe smoke doesn't stick quite as intensely as like cigarette smoke and stuff, and it smells very different. Well, it depends. I mean, in England, pipe smoke is very common.
Mm-hmm.
People smoke their like fancy oil tobacco and crap.
Yeah. I'm just saying it could definitely be in the walls.
Like the ghosts are.
Yeah. Also, she, the person's mom, daughter person who moved back in person, she could have brought spirits with her because she was traveling the world.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mom also told her spooked daughter that things would regularly move around the house. So if keys were laid down on the table and then went to get them, they would be missing. The daughter added, quote, "The weirdest thing she said happened was occasionally they would hear what sounded like a party going on next door in the middle of the night. Loud music, people singing and laughing, and then all of a sudden, it would stop."
Oh my God, that never happens for real.
The only issue with this is that the only building connected to them, the only building connected to there was a bank.
Oh my God.
They need a copy editor so bad. Was a bank which would be closed at night. Ooh. Are you spooked yet?
Wasn't this an apartment?
Yeah, it's a flat.
So can't there be someone else in a different place having a party?
I think it referenced that they heard like it coming from the side of their apartment that doesn't connect to another apartment.
Maybe. I mean, maybe they just don't. They're getting confused about the direction of the sound.
Or maybe that is just the happiest bank that there is.
Yeah.
I mean, I would party at a bank.
Maybe people are breaking into the bank and having parties.
That sounds very British, actually. Like very hooliganish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hooligans breaking into banks to party.
And this was like in the 70s, right?
I think so.
I believe it.
The former ice skater also said that when she asked the landlord about the strange goings on, he said that it was strange that she mentioned the pipe smoke in the back room because the landlord's father used to smoke a pipe and he had died in the back bedroom.
Oh, no.
The daughter continued, quote, "There's one thing that I'm not sure about mentioning as it's not really to do with ghosts and it makes my mum sound a bit crazy. But she also said that at the time when she lived in the flat, she could tell who was going to call before the phone rang, or who would be at the door before the bell went. I'm very skeptical about this as I can understand ghosts, but I have never heard something like that before."
I don't even know what this article is about.
It's a little confusing. I guess it's just that she moved back in with her parents and it's been haunted. This is, I'm assuming they're talking about Reddit, but other users of the site reassured her that her mother could well have experienced all of what she had recounted, with one poster saying, "I don't think your mom sounds crazy. I have extrasensory abilities, and things like that happen to me often." Fascinating about the haunted flat she and her parents lived in. Thank you for sharing. If I had never experienced it, I probably wouldn't believe it either. It's okay to be skeptical about things. And another said, quote, "That happens to me with texts all the time. Someone will all of a sudden be on my mind and I'll think I need to text and check on them. Within 10 minutes or so, they will text or call me." While a third said, "She's not crazy. These types of things happen to me regularly. I thought I was crazy until many of my impressions were validated."
Yeah.
So, this is yet another example of the news is just plain, Reddit.
Yeah.
Or TikTok. So, yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. I think that's really, really lazy.
Well, and one thing I love about the internet is you never know who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, did I tell you about the guy who contacted us at the Weekly Spooky Facebook page because we posted a reading of The Raven?
I don't know.
He wanted to point out that there had been a ton of research done and that it's likely Edgar Allan Poe didn't write The Raven and that it was written by this very unknown author from back in that time period.
Mm-hmm.
And that famously Poe had stolen it.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy claimed he was like, "I've done the extensive research about it." So I looked into it and sure enough, he has papers published about the research. And in every single one of the researches, he mentions the reason he figured this out is because he was that writer in a past life.
Oh.
And I was like, oh.
He's trying to clear his name.
Yeah, sure. So,
wow.
Yeah, I was like, I think I'm just going to move on from that.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of moving on, now that we're done with the spooky news, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit about the Mothman, as Michelle apparently knows very little about the cryptid in question. So we'll do that right after these quick words. Are you scared, Michelle?
No.
Oh, damn. All right, now we are back, and Chell, before we dive into the Mothman, since you know very little about him, what do you know? I want to hear your description of the Mothman going cold.
Okay, so it's a guy.
Okay.
I think it's a guy.
A man of sorts?
Yeah, and I think maybe he has really big wings, like moth wings. And I think he's kind of like the Jersey Devil, but he's a moth.
So like a woman gave birth to 12 children and said, if I have a 13th, let him be a moth. And
Exactly.
I gotta say, Ohio has a lot of great folklore, but the Jersey Devil's so good. I wish we had the Jersey Devil, although that'd be weird. Like, it was just like, we have the old Jersey Devil. Where's that? Ohio. That'd be weird. We imported him. We captured him and released him in our woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we don't have Pine Barrens, though.
Sorry. At least you don't have the Grunch. Because I don't like the Grunch.
The Grunch?
Yeah.
Do I know about the Grunch?
It's in Louisiana, and all of its like folklore, like its reasons for coming to be are like really highly offensive.
Oh, really?
It's just like what?
Like what? Like, do you have an example?
Like Marie Laveau had the devil baby, and she wanted to stop it from ever, having sex and having more children. So she cut off its balls, and then its balls turned into the Grunches, and then they attacked her.
Only in Louisiana.
That's in the Chupacabra thing, by the way.
Oh, I remember you briefly mentioning the Grunch to me when you were working on the Chupacabra piece.
Yeah.
Oh, the Grunch who stole Crossmoss.
Yeah.
So basically that's all you know about the Mothman, is that he's like a moth-like dude who's like the Jersey Devil?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he likes light lamps.
I would hope he would. Do you know where the Mothman is from, supposedly?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a Mothman statue in Point Pleasant.
Oh.
Well, we're going to dive into the Mothman and talk a little bit about it and educate each other. And we're going to use, of course, the most powerful tool known to man for accurate and perfect information, which is Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that as a joke. I worry that somebody hears that and just starts frothing at the mouth.
I think Wikipedia is pretty accurate, but that's okay.
Wikipedia is pretty good, but I think that it's important to say I'm using Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's okay to use Wikipedia,
Okay.
As long as we know that it could be altered.
Mm-hmm.
There was somebody was trolling my Wikipedia page, the page about me, and like putting mean things in.
Oh.
I had to report them.
Oh.
To the police. They were murdered. No.
Yeah.
Oh man, the first thing on Wikipedia says not to be confused with Owlman, and now I'm like, wait, now I want the show to be about Owlman. What's Owlman? Oh man, whoa, there's a lot of information about Owlman. All right, anyway.
Oh man,
Owlman. Owl's well that ends well. In West Virginian folklore, the Mothman is a humanoid creature reportedly seen in the Point Pleasant area from November 5th, 1966 to December 15th, 1967. The first newspaper report was published in the Point Pleasant Register dated November 16th, 1966, titled Couple See Man-Sized Bird Creature Something. Literally it says man-sized bird, ... creature, ... something. Cool. I love the news. The national press soon picked up the reports and helped spread the story across the United States. The source of the legend is believed to have originated from sightings of out-of-migration sandhill cranes or herons. like the Jersey Devil,
Yay!
which may have been cranes.
It
mostly.
is like a Jersey Devil.
You want everything to be like a Jersey Devil.
No.
I can't believe you grew up in Jersey and you weren't like, you and your friends weren't all like whispering like, what if the Jersey Devil tries to get us tonight?
Yeah, no, sorry.
I would have been doing that every night.
Sorry.
That would have been my favorite part of being a kid, would have been talking about the Jersey Devil. The creature was introduced to a wider audience by Gray Barker in 1970, and was later popularized by John Keel in his 1975 book, The Mothman Prophecies.
Mm-hmm.
Claiming that there were paranormal events related to the sightings and a connection to the collapse of the Silver Bridge. The book was later adapted in 2002 to a film starring Richard Gere.
Okay.
Wow. I need to see the Mothman Prophecies movie. I can't believe I haven't.
Yeah, me too.
If it stars Richard Gere, it's probably okay.
Yeah.
An annual festival in Point Pleasant is devoted to the Mothman legend. Yeah, there's a Mothman festival every year.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, why isn't there a Jersey Devil festival? That'd be cool.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Y'all are afraid of him, huh?
Yeah, he's gonna get us.
On November 15th, 1966, this is the history element.
Okay.
Two young couples from Point Pleasant, Roger and Linda Scarberry and Steve and Mary Mallett, told police they had seen a large black creature whose eyes glowed red.
No!
Standing at the side of the road near the TNT area, the site of a former World War II munitions plant.
Okay, so it really is TNT. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, is this poetic speak? No, literal. Linda Scarberry described it as a slender, muscular man about 7 feet tall with white wings, and said she was unable to discern its face due to the hypnotic effect of its eyes.
Wow.
Distressed, the witnesses drove away at high speed and said that the creature flew after their car, making a screeching sound.
Doesn't sound like a moth.
Moths screech. If they're in your ear, you could hear it.
No.
It pursued them as far as Point Pleasant city limits.
Oh.
Yeah, it must not have wanted to leave the town. It was like, oh, I got warrants, and it flew back.
Exactly, yeah.
During the next few days, other people reported similar sightings. After the local newspapers had reported it. Two volunteer firemen who saw it said it was a large bird with red eyes.
Still not a moth.
That's a lot of moth. Hella moth. Mason County Sheriff George Johnson commented that he believed the sightings were due to an unusually large heron he termed a shite poke. That's what it says. SHITEPOKE. Shite poke. Contractor Newell Partridge told Johnson that when he aimed a flashlight at the creature in a nearby field, its eyes glowed like bicycle reflectors.
Okay, so it just has eye shine. Got it.
Additionally, he blamed buzzing noises from his television set and the disappearance of his German Shepherd dog on the creature.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, poor dog. Wildlife biologist Robert L. Smith at West Virginia University told reporters that descriptions and sightings all fit the sandhill crane, a large American crane almost as tall as a man with a 7-foot wingspan, featuring circles of reddish coloring around the eyes. The bird may have wandered out of its migration route and therefore was unrecognized at first because it was not native to this region.
Can you imagine seeing a bird and thinking it wasn't a bird?
Well, first of all, have you ever seen a bird that is the size of a man?
I don't know.
I feel like you'd remember that.
I mean, there are some big birds that I've seen.
How big, though?
I don't know. Like, big, like this big?
Okay, that's like the size of like a very good bowl of pasta.
That's way bigger than a bowl of pasta.
Maybe in your house, you skinny bastard. No, I don't know. I mean, if you saw a bird the size of a man and you'd never seen such a thing before, it would probably at night, it would probably be pretty scary.
Hopefully I'll get to see one at night and we can talk about it.
Well, if you hung out in the Pine Barrens more, you might. I'm always disappointed when every night I talk to you, I'm like, hey, Michelle, how are you? And I'm praying you'll be like, I'm good, just camping in the Pine Barrens. Yeah. And you never are.
That's because you don't call me on the nights that I'm there, and then I don't want to talk about it the next day.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Due to the popularity of the Batman TV series at the time, the fictional superhero Batman and his rogues galley were prominently featured in the public eye. While the villain Killer Moth did not appear in the show, the comic book influence of both him and Batman is believed by some to have influenced the coinage of the name Mothman in local newspapers.
Huh.
Okay. Following the December 15, 1967 collapse of the Silver Bridge and the death of 46 people, the incident gave rise to the legend and connected the Mothman sightings to the bridge collapse. So the Silver Bridge was an I-bar chain suspension bridge built in 1928, which carried U.S. Route 35. Oh, okay. I know. I live right by U.S. Route 35.
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
I'm on the other side of Ohio, but
yeah.
Over the Ohio River connecting Point Pleasant, West Virginia, and Gallipolis, Ohio. Officially named the Point Pleasant Bridge, it was popularly known as the Silver Bridge for its color of the aluminum paint.
Oh.
So on December 15, 1967, the Silver Bridge collapsed amid heavy rush hour traffic, resulting in the deaths of 46 people.
Yeah.
2 of whom were never found. The investigation of the wreckage soon pointed to the failure of a single I-bar in one of the suspension chains as the primary cause, a finding noted in a preliminary report released within 10 months of the collapse. Wow. That's pretty crazy. I mean, a bridge like that failing is really unusual.
Yeah, like a suspension bridge. Yeah.
So, because 35 basically follows 70.
Okay.
Give or take. So, yeah. Wow, that's freaky.
Wow.
According to Georgian newspaper, when I read that, I thought Georgia, the state, but it's Georgia, the country. So then when I saw the name of the newspaper, I realized it's Svobodanya Gruzia. See, I could say it, but I needed to not think it was going to be an American term.
Mm-hmm.
Russian UFOologists claim that Mothman sightings in Moscow foreshadowed the 1999 Russian apartment bombings.
Oh.
Okay, so there is a belief. It turns out that there is a belief that the Mothman is like what's that word?
Harbinger.
Harbinger.
Yeah.
Look at you with your knowledge of things.
I like the word harbinger, so I remember it.
You would. No, harbinger's a great word. Thank you for remembering that. The Mothman Prophecies film in 2002, loosely based on the 1975 book of the same name, is another element that kind of instilled the Mothman legend. In 2016, WCHS-TV published a photo purported to be of Mothman taken by an anonymous man while driving on Route 2 in Mason County. The science writer Sharon A. Hill proposed that the photo showed a bird, perhaps an owl, carrying a frog or snake away, and wrote that there is zero reason to suspect it is the Mothman as described in legend. There are too many far more reasonable explanations.
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds like loser talk to me.
Only a little.
Folklorist Jan Harold Brunvand notes that Mothman has been widely covered in popular press, some claiming sightings connected with UFOs, and others claiming that a military storage site was Mothman's home.
Wow.
Yeah, see, that makes sense.
He's got to live somewhere.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, well, if you're going to start thinking about, like, what could the Mothman be, you got to think either it's going to be natural phenomenon, alien life, or man-made phenomenon. Those are really like your 3 options. So, and if you're going to go man-made phenomenon, then, I mean, the likelihood that it's going to be related to military development of weapons, especially when you think back, you and I are, we were a little young for the Cold War. We were both born in the 80s, but we came of age in the 90s.
Yeah.
And the early 2000s. And so, like, it is wild when you look back. I mean, America and the Soviet Union did all kinds of crazy stuff to prepare to fight each other. That's why I love that they touched on it in Stranger Things so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that's such a great element that you forget about, is that whole era where, like, it's all about, like, psychic research and stuff. They were just like, oh, everybody was trying to get a leg up on the other guy.
Right.
They were like, if we can have telepathic soldiers, you better believe we're going to have them first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, why wouldn't they just make a person that was a bird, that was a moth?
Yeah, I mean, crazier things. I mean, I can't imagine, putting somebody in a sensory deprivation tank with electrodes on their head and telling them, like, see Moscow, go on, see Moscow. Okay, now give someone an aneurysm. And they're like, what? Like, that doesn't sound as crazy either.
Yeah.
So... but we're going to take a quick break and we'll get back and we'll talk a little bit more about the analysis of Mothman and the festival when we return after this. That's spooky. And we are back talking all about the Mothman. And I know that the Mothman is a very popular cryptid. A lot of people have done a lot of research into the Mothman.
Yeah.
Also, the Mothman's just fun. Like, there's all kinds of, like, fun stickers about the Mothman and people, like, with stickers that say, like, I heart the Mothman and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we're talking about folklorist Jan Harold Brunvand. And Brunvand did a lot of research into the cryptid. Brunvand notes that recountings of the 1966 and 67 Mothman reports usually state that at least 100 people saw Mothman, with many more, quote, afraid to report their sightings. But observed that written sources for such stories consisted of children's books or sensationalized or undocumented accounts that fail to, quote, identifiable persons.
Yeah.
So it's conjecture. It's just kind of, Brunvand found elements in common among many Mothman reports and much older folktales, suggesting that something real may have triggered the scares and became woven in with existing folklore. He also records anecdotal tales of Mothman supposedly attacking the roofs of parked cars occupied by teenagers.
Of course.
Oh, like at Makeout Point?
Yeah.
Mothman's like, nah.
No sex.
You've been moth blocked.
Yeah.
They're going to talk about Joe Nickel. Do you know who Joe Nickel is?
No.
Joe Nickel's my favorite. He's a skeptic researcher. He was for many years the world's only full-time paranormal investigator. He was the basis of Dana Scully.
Oh.
But he was and still is independent skeptic researcher.
Okay.
He spent his whole life. He's still alive. He's 79 years old. But he worked for a ton of people researching and investigating ghosts, aliens, all kinds of stuff.
Oh.
And spoiler alert, he still doesn't believe in them.
He's not trying hard enough.
That's what people say, basically. Conversely, Joe Nickel says that a number of hoaxes followed the publicity generated by the original reports, such as a group of construction workers who tied flashlights to helium balloons.
Oh.
That's a pretty good gag.
Yeah, I don't know how that would look like a thing, but,
It's red eyes in the sky, maybe.
Red eyes?
If you put two flashlights apart from each other to eye distance, it'll look like eyes from a ways away.
I guess.
Don't have enough hoax. You don't have enough hoax imagination.
Yeah.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
There's your problem, pal.
Yeah.
Nickel attributes the Mothman stories to sightings of barred owls, suggesting that the Mothman's glowing eyes were actually the red eye effect caused from the reflection of light from flashlights or other bright sources. Benjamin Radford points out that the only report of glowing red eyes was secondhand. That of Shirley Hensley quoting her father.
Oh.
One of the prevailing hypotheses associated with Mothman at the time of the original sightings was that it was a misidentified sandhill crane, due primarily to the size of the bird as well as the reddish flesh around the crane's eyes. Daniel A. Reed examined the migration patterns and historically reported sightings of sandhill cranes in the area of Point Pleasant, and proposed that in cases where eye shine was not noted, it was statistically more likely that witnesses were seeing and misidentifying a great blue heron instead.
Yay.
I wonder how big blue herons get.
I don't know.
It must get pretty big. Am I wrong?
I guess.
You're like, I guess. It's a pretty big bird. I feel like you just see a sandhill crane, like a 6-foot tall bird, just land next to you, and you'd be like, that's a pretty big bird, I guess.
Exactly. Like, nothing special.
It's basically a dinosaur. According to University of Chicago psychologist David A. Gallo, 55 sightings of Mothman in Chicago. Gallo, 55 sightings of Mothman in Chicago during 2017's published on the website of self-described 14.
What?
This sentence does not make any sense. According to University of Chicago psychologist David A. Gallo, 55 sightings, I guess that's his age, not the sightings.
Yeah.
Sightings of Mothman in Chicago during 2017 published on the website of self-described Fortean researcher Lon Strickler are, quote, a selective sample.
Okay.
So I have a friend who's a Fortean investigator. She was on the show about a year or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're investigators of many types of cryptids, mysterious things, stuff like that.
Okay.
Comes from the guy named Charles Fort, who was an investigator. So Fortean comes from him. Gallo explains that he's not sampling random people and asking if they saw the Mothman. He's just counting the number of people that voluntarily came forward to report a sighting. According to Gallo, people are more likely to visit a paranormal-centric website like Strickler's. They might also be more inclined to believe in and therefore witness the existence of a Mothman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, self-selected sample.
Yeah.
Some pseudoscience adherents, such as ufologists, paranormal authors, and cryptozoologists, claim that Mothman was an alien, a supernatural manifestation, or a previously unknown species of animal. In his 1975 book, Keel claimed that Point Pleasant residents experienced precognitions, including premonitions of the collapse of the Silver Bridge, UFO sightings, visits from inhuman or threatening men in black, and other phenomena.
It would be cool if that was true.
That would be. Did you ever watch the Unsolved Mysteries about Men in Black?
No.
Oh man, it was so creepy. Just these men in black suits with sunglasses, just like asking you questions and making you feel unsafe.
Oh.
Yeah. And it always follows up like an alien thing or some kind of paranormal thing where people are asking too many questions.
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, was the basis of the hit movie from 1999 with Will Smith, Wild Wild West.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. I was going to say, wasn't there a movie about that?
Did you see the movie Men in Black?
Yes.
Was that one of your favorites growing up?
It was a good movie.
You're so cool. I wish I could play it as cool as you do. So before we wrap this up, we do want to mention a little bit about the festival and the statues to the Mothman.
Mm-hmm.
Point Pleasant held its first annual Mothman Festival in 2002. The Mothman Festival began after brainstorming creative ways for people to visit Point Pleasant. The group organizing the event chose the Mothman to be the center of the festival due to its uniqueness as a way to celebrate its local legacy in the town. According to the event organizer, Jeff Wamsley, the average attendance for the Mothman Festival is estimated to be 10 to 12,000 people per year. That's healthy. That's good.
Yeah.
A 12-foot tall metallic statue of the creature created by artist and sculptor Bob Roach was unveiled in 2003.
Wow.
The Mothman Museum and Research Center opened in 2005. The festival is held on the third weekend of every September, hosting guest speakers, vendor exhibits, pancake eating contests, and hayride tours of locally notable areas.
Okay.
Chell, will you go with me to the Mothman Festival this year?
Sure, let's go.
We should do it.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. It's like, actually, that's like almost exactly halfway between us.
Is it?
You might have to drive like an hour longer than me.
Yeah, I think I probably do.
But still like halfway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we could go to Point Pleasant and go on a hayride.
Yeah.
And you could enter a pancake eating contest.
Yeah, and I'll eat just one pancake.
And then people will be like, go, go, go. And you'd be like, that was very good. Thank you.
Yeah. I just wanted the free pancake.
Well, now you know a little bit about the Mothman.
Thank you. I don't know why it's called the Mothman now, but that's fine.
That's okay. Maybe sometime we'll talk about some other things they're referencing here, like the Flatwoods Monster, Goat Man.
Goat.
Yeah. There's Spring-Heeled Jack, Snallygaster. I don't know Snallygaster, but now I want to. I love this stuff. I really do. I know I'm a bit of a skeptic, but I really do enjoy this kind of thing. So, before we wrap things up, I wanted to real quick mention that while I was sick with COVID, Michelle introduced me to what may have been the scariest anime I've watched, but also the most boring visual novel I've ever watched, called Higurashi When They Cry. So thank you, Michelle, for giving me something scary to watch the entire time I was laid up and deliriously sick.
You're welcome.
It was legit one of the scariest animes I've seen. I mean, I've only watched the first season and a couple episodes of the second season, but it was very scary.
Yay.
And creepy.
Yeah.
It's about a town with massive secrets, and there's time jumping, and there's so much to it, and the best parts about it are spoilers. So
yeah, there's not really much you can say.
It's also really hard to find. So good luck watching Higurashi When They Cry. Also, yesterday I went and saw Lisa Frankenstein.
Yay.
You don't know what that is at all, do
No,
you?
because you told me about it. I just wanted to say something about Higurashi before I forget.
Say something about Higurashi, please.
Okay, I just wanted to say that if you do look for it, the first thing you're going to find is Higurashi Go, like G-O-U, Go. That is the third season, even though it doesn't look like it is. Please do not watch it. It's until you've watched other parts of it. It's 2020 is, I think, when it came out. The original run of the anime was 2006 and maybe 2007. So that's what you're looking for, not 2020. You will be very confused.
Because you did that, right?
Yes. Because
that is helpful.
But when they were marketing it, they marketed it as a reboot, not another season. So a lot of people went into it, and the people who had watched it were like, "This is weird, guys." And then the people who hadn't were like, "Wow." And then they were like, "No, stop watching it. Stop watching it."
Exactly like that. No, stop watching it. Stop watching it.
That's what it looked.
God.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, it's okay. And remember, guys, Michelle has an anime podcast called Michelle Explains Anime Poorly.
Yeah.
And you can find that anywhere you get your podcasts. It's really fun. She's on a brief hiatus, but there's a ton of episodes to listen to.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So, so I went and saw Lisa Frankenstein, the new horror comedy by Diablo Cody and Robin Williams' daughter, who directed it.
Okay.
I feel bad because I'm forgetting her name, so I'm going to look it up real quick. Zelda Williams.
Okay.
It was fine. I didn't outright love it, but I thought it was pretty good. It's about a girl who accidentally resurrects a dead guy.
Okay.
And then they but in the funniest part of the movie, she friend zones him. It's very, very funny. But they kind of learn to fall in love. In my opinion, the story, I've never said this before. This is the first time I'm going to say this about a movie, and I think I've ever. I think that the script was not very good and the story was not very good, but the performances and the direction were so good. I was laughing and having a really good time the whole way through.
Okay.
I didn't really like the story beats very much. I thought they were kind of predictable and kind of exactly what you would expect. Every decision, I was like, yeah, of course they did that. And of course they did that. Of course they did that. But the actors were so good. And there's one scene, it's not a big spoiler, so I'm going to mention it, but to explain why the performance or the directing is so great. There's a scene where a cop sees the dead guy and she's trying to stop him, and he just picks her up and walks over to a hole in the ground, a grave, and just drops her in. Doesn't kill her or anything, just drops her in so she can't climb out. And it was just the way it was done. It was just all in a wide shot. He just does it very matter of fact, just picks her up and drops her in there so she's out of the way. I laughed so hard I started coughing.
Oh,
it's just really well made. So I don't think it's the perfect dark, romance movie that maybe people are hoping for.
Yeah.
But I do think it was really fun and I enjoyed it. Of course, I also felt awful because as soon as it was over, I was like, this is going to flop. I just don't think there's enough people who want a movie like that. And it's not doing very well. Its opening weekend's already passed. It's made $4.5 million at the box office against a $13 million budget. So
It might get there.
it could if word of mouth is strong. So if you like your horror comedies and you like, having a good laugh, I do think it's worth watching. I do wish the story had been a little bit more original. I think I may have been more into it. But I'm not like dying to own it, but I really did laugh really hard. I thought every actor in that movie was like doing their best to be awesome. I loved it in that way. So,
okay.
Anyway, I don't like to give like harsh criticisms, but I do think the script, I was kind of like, okay, like it's just more of that and more of that. But overall, I enjoyed it. And it's definitely the kind of thing you'd like if you like that kind of thing. Yeah. So also very sexual for a PG-13 movie, which I actually worry might hurt it because PG-13 is great because it means more people can go see it. But I think parents would be hugely turned off by how sexual it is.
Yeah.
There's a great part where the main character, who's supposed to be like 17, has a body massager, a personal massager. And she's just like, oh yeah, my aunt gave me that for Christmas one year. She said it might help my personality.
Jeez.
So I enjoyed that. But anyway, so before we get out of here, do you have anything from Reddit you want to share?
Oh my God, you froze.
Oh no.
No, you're back. I could tell you something if my computer is fast enough.
Okay.
It's not that fast. What's happening?
It's not very fast. We're all gonna die.
Oh my God. So anyway,
it's okay. It's okay, Michelle. You only had one job.
I know. Okay. Oh, I've got one. Okay. So this was pretty cool. It was an Ask Reddit question that was like, what do you swear you saw but you don't have any proof of?
Okay, yeah.
So there is this guy who works like for the local utility company reading water meters.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to go to like a really old house to read their water meter in the basement, right?
Right.
Apparently it was a makeshift hospital during the Civil War, that kind of thing. So the meter is in the basement. He goes down there and he realized, like they've redone the basement. Like they added a bunch of walls and stuff. Like they were like getting ready to finish it, make it like a bar or a game room or something. And he gets lost in the basement. Like he's looking around and he's like, this is crazy. Like I have to be able to get to the back of the basement somehow and get this meter. And eventually he finds the meter and he reads it. And he comes out and his partner is out there because I guess, maybe they were like doing every other or whatever. And he's like, why were you in there for so long? And the guy's like, oh, I just got a little lost. No, he was in there for an hour. And the guy is like, what are you talking about? Like the guy, his partner got so tired of waiting for him. Like he thought that like maybe he went and was talking to the owner or something. Like
he was just like wasting time.
Yeah. So like he went and he did a bunch of other houses and then came back. And the guy's like, yeah, it's like, I don't think I was down there for that long, but it was like a maze down there. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? And they turn back around and it's just an empty old basement.
Ah, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So no idea what was going on there.
Did anyone at Reddit have a brilliant solution to what the hell happened?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
So they were just like, do you take psychedelic mushrooms?
Since it was a comment in a comment, like people were just like, whoa, that was it.
Okay. Well, I am also like, whoa.
Yeah.
That was a good one. So, well, thank you, Chell, for having that Reddit spooky. We're going to wrap things up. I like to be transparent on the show, and my voice is starting to hurt because I'm recovering from COVID. And let me tell you, nothing beats having a sore throat and a painful voice when you podcast as much as I do.
Yeah.
Highly recommended. So we're we're going to head out of here. But before we do, I want to say just a huge thank you to everybody who's been signing up for our Patreon. We have around 100 backers right now on Patreon. It's awesome. It helps us keep the show going every single week. It helps us do these bonus shows like Monthly Spooky, like Terrifying and True. All of it. It really helps us do everything we want. And I also want to say an extra special thank you to our Patreon podcast boosters. These are folks who go to weeklyspooky.com, click on Patreon, and sign up for $15 or higher to hear their names at the end of the show. And they are Johnny Nix, John Callan, Bobbletopia.com, Jenny Green, Brent McCullough, Mark Shields. Oh, I'm sorry. Mark Shields is our podcast producer. Karen Ouimet, Jack Kerr, and Craig Cohen. And a big special thank you to our executive producers, Mark Shields and Rob Fields, as well as our producer, Dan Wilder, and of course, our composer, Ray Mattis, who did the theme song you're hearing right now. But now, we're going to let you all go. We'll see you next month right here on Monthly Spooky. Michelle, you have the final word.
I don't really want it. I just want to say I'm not hearing the theme song right now.
It's called imagination, Michelle.
Oh.